Good morning. Welcome to the Boise Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. I'm the Reverend Sara LaWall. It is my great honor to serve this beloved community, and we're so glad that you've joined us for our Zoom worship this morning. Whether you are Zooming from down the street or across the city, you are welcome here. Perhaps you're Zooming from across the country or across the ocean. We're so glad that you've joined us from the comfort of your home today. Today we're honoring Father's Day, and I know that it's not quite Father's Day, but we chose to do it on this Sunday, and I'm joined by a wonderful crew of dads and some of their kids with reflections from Roger Sherman and David Scott, music from Cory, Strop, and maybe Ted and Sylvia, music from Dave and Sacha Falcone, Mark and Tenje Zimmerer, also with Mom Sue Langley on piano, so it's a full service. We're also supported this morning by Valora McCallan, our tech host. Thank you, Valora, and our great staff team, Carrie Bastian, Jem Emerson Page, and Nancy Harms. Everybody helped to make this worship service a wonderful opportunity for all of us to be together in community today. The spiritual theme for this month of June is compassion. And throughout the summer, we'll be focusing on compassion and looking into the question of what does it mean to be a people of compassion. I know that you will hear those messages today as you hear reflections on fatherhood. You saw many announcements in our announcement slides. If there are any additional announcements from the community, please do feel free to write those in the chat box. Our final Inquirers session will happen today after worship. It's our Membership 101 session, and we'll put you all into your own breakout room together today. Our social justice plate partner for this month of June, we're really proud to be partnering with Giraffe Laugh, Early Childhood Education Center and Organization. And here to tell us a little bit more about their mission and work in the world is Cassandra Wagner, their philanthropy director. Welcome, Cassandra. It's so nice to have you with us.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? Maybe. So thank you all so much for having me. I saw Roger Sherman there, and he is a big supporter of Giraffe Laugh. Good morning, Roger. It's good to see you. So Giraffe Laugh is a local nonprofit that has been supporting early care and education and nurturing for young children in the past 30 years. And we do this by ensuring school readiness, empowering families, and building strong futures. I'm going to just talk really quickly about each of those three areas because I know my time is very limited. When we talk about ensuring school readiness, we know that only about 50% of children in the state of Idaho are prepared for kindergarten, When we look at low income and no income families, that number skyrockets up to 69%. And we know that, our local police departments and across the nation, they look at third grade reading levels to determine future prison bed populations. And we know that if children are not prepared for kindergarten, the likelihood that they're going to be prepared and reading at the third grade reading level significantly diminishes, which really impacts their hope for a brighter future, graduating from high school, staying out of the jail system, and so on and so forth. So at Giraffe Laugh, we believe strongly that early education is where it really, really matters, in getting to families early on and ensuring that their children are ready for kindergarten as they, enter the official, education realm, prior to that preschool age. And when we look at empowering families, some of the work that we do at Giraffe Laugh is really ensuring that parents have access to parenting programs, because we know that if they are supported and, they understand, that parenting is a learned thing. It's not just instinctual, and, we don't give birth to these little babies and know exactly what to do necessarily with them. So we make sure that we provide parenting education classes for them, letting them know what is normal, in the progression of a child growing up. And we also provide them with resources to ensure that all of their needs are being met. And we partner with a lot of other organizations, a lot of other nonprofits, to make sure that, they have access to housing, that they have access to programs that will help with, domestic violence and those types of things as well. Because we know that strong families raise strong children. And so it's really important that the parents have the support that they need. So we're not only educating their children, but we're providing them with the resources and the tools that they need to progress. Building strong futures, I really love this area of our work as well. In the state of Idaho, 1 in 5 children goes to bed hungry every night. And, it's something I think that we don't think about, that we don't necessarily see in our communities. And, many of the families that we serve are from that low income and no income area, and ensuring that those families have food is really important. And so we provide food pantries at all of our locations, whether it's our summer program or our 3 full year centers. And it's not just providing food, but good quality food. We have refrigerators that, they can, we provide the, meats and, some of the proteins and things like that that are refrigerated. And we partner with the Idaho Food Bank for a lot of the food, but we also rely a lot on community support and donations from our community. So as your gardens are bursting with fresh fruits and vegetables, we know how expensive that is to buy in the stores. And if you need a place to bring fresh fruits and vegetables, we would love it. Our families love it when those all come in. And another thing that we provide in our food pantries as well are some of the essential needs, period packs. Pads and tampons are really expensive, and oftentimes they're things that are put on the back burner, to make sure that, their children are being fed. And, so we take donations for that, for diapers, wipes, baby food, body wash, shampoo, toothpaste, toothbrushes, all of those kinds of things that families may not actually purchase because they're trying to feed their family. So we do take donations for that as well. And one of the biggest areas that you can help, if you're interested in learning more about our work, I would love for you to contact me. I'm the philanthropy director at Giraffe Laugh. And one of our main volunteer opportunities is serving as an ambassador. And that's basically sharing our mission with, people in your community, your friends, your coworkers. And if you're interested in becoming an ambassador, I would love for you to contact me and, learn more about that. So thank you all for having us here today. We're so excited that you chose us as your social justice nonprofit, and we're just really grateful for that, and for everybody taking the time to be here today as well. And God bless everybody, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Cassandra. It's really a pleasure to meet you, even over Zoom, and thank you so much for the good work that you do for our community. Friends, you know that we have been supporting our community in need, particularly during this shutdown period, with your donations. And so in this month of our support of Giraffe Laugh, I'll invite you, if you'd like to bring to the church, to our donation bin outside, wipes, diapers, fresh fruit, any of the things that Cassandra mentioned, and we will make sure that they get to Giraffe Laugh. And so not only can we support them with our offering plate, but we can support them with our generous donations as well. Thank you so much. Today, as I mentioned, we honor Father's Day. A week early, yes, but as my own father can attest, that I get this mixed up every year. Next week, we'll be celebrating our summer solstice, but I wanted to have a service dedicated to Father's Day. I was telling our dads that usually this time of year, I'm already gone. I'm headed off on vacation or to General Assembly a little bit early. And it's been a real joy to be able to participate in this service, recognizing that we don't always do a Father's Day service together. And so I wanted to have a service dedicated to fathers, to recognize the enormous gift that fathers bring into the world by nurturing, loving, and parenting each new generation. I also wanted to reflect upon and name how the role of fatherhood continues to shift and change over the generations. And we've seen it grow and expand in ways that are probably surprising to many of us. And it's so much more complex and complicated than the simplistic Father's Day messages would have us believe. So today we remember our own fathers. We pause and let ourselves receive gratitude if we are fathers. We also recognize and mourn where our experience growing up was absent of what we'd hoped for from our fathers. We celebrate all the ways that people step in to offer nurturing, to offer strong bonds beyond biological family and beyond the expectations of gender. To the fathering instinct in all of us, we offer gratitude this morning. And in this moment of national reawakening to racism and systems of white supremacy, we must also recognize the immense challenges faced by fathers of color. Fathers who fear for their lives and the lives of their children daily. Fathers of color who are incarcerated at a much higher rate than white fathers. Fathers who disproportionately did not have a father in their own lives. To their collective struggle, we commit ourselves and offer gratitude for their presence in the lives of all of our children. And to all our ancestral fathers, stretching back far beyond our historical knowledge, we offer and honor our gratitude as well. So I invite us all to take a moment to breathe together, to fill our bodies with breath, recognizing that we breathe with our beloved community across the expanse, even as we are not in the same physical space together, connected by that invisible string of love, that inescapable web of our humanity and beloved community. And today I invite you to hear the words of our opening poem, all of those thines and thous, as dedicated to all the fathers in our lives. Thou art the song of my heart in the morning. Thou art the dawn of truth in my soul. Thou art the dew of the roses adorning. Thou art the woven whole. Thine is the grace to be steadfast in danger. Thine is the peace that none can destroy. Thine is the face of the need-driven stranger. Thine are the wings of joy. Thou art the deep, to the deep in me calling. Thou art a lamp where my feet shall tread. Thy way is steep past the peril of falling. Thou art my daily bread. Thine be the praise of my spirit uplifted. Thou art the sea to each flowing stream. Thine be the days that are gathered and sifted. Thou art the deathless dream.
Each week, we light our flaming chalice, a symbol of our free faith, a beacon of hope, love, and justice. We join in this lighting in solidarity and community with hundreds of other Unitarian Universalists lighting chalices today in homes and in virtual worship services, reminding us that we are connected to one another and to a larger community of faith and love. If you have a chalice nearby, we invite you to light it with us. And if you are able, hold it up to your camera and switch to gallery view to see all of the chalices being lit today. Then you're invited to share in the chat. The chalice is lit on in our street, Beaumont Street, or whatever street you live on. As we collectively light our chalices, we share with you this call to worship adapted from Reverend Peter Fredericks.
For sleepless nights awaiting the curfew breakers, for anxious hours as a driving instructor, for hours spent on sidelines, cheering and watching school plays, sometimes resting our eyes.
For making up answers when you just don't know, but are expected to because you know everything. For teaching moments and mentoring moments, for the hoped for moments that would never be.
For scrapes and boo-boo kisses and band-aids, for years worth of diaper changes and bath time floods, for the times when you were pushed away, for the eye rolls, slammed doors, and ignoring the invitations to mow the lawn.
For handing over car keys and waves goodbye. For father-daughter wedding dances and cradling grandchildren for the first time. For all those moments that some may never see, but whose love is no less deep. For all the moments and all the meaning in the role of a lifetime, we light our chalice for fathers and for fatherhood. Come, let us worship together.
Okay, here we go. My bum, my baby bum, Dad's gonna wipe my baby bum. My bum, my baby bum, Dad's gonna wipe my baby bum. My bum, my baby bum, Dad's gonna wipe when I get done. My bum, my baby bum. Dad just wiped my baby bum. I'll get older and I'll learn to wipe by myself. I'll get older and I won't need anyone's help. I'll get older and I'll learn to wipe when I poo. I'll get older and that's exactly what I'll do. My bum, my big kid bum. I'm learning to wipe my big kid bum. My bum, my big kid bum. Gonna learn to wipe my big kid bum. My bum, my big kid bum. I'm gonna wipe when I get done. My bum, my big kid bum. I just wiped my big kid bum. Now that I'm older, that's exactly what I do. Now that I'm older, I wipe my bum when I poo. Now that I'm older, I wipe my big kid bum. Now that I'm older, it's as clean as they come. My bum, my big kid bum. I always wipe my big kid bum. My bum, my big kid bum. I most certainly wipe my big kid bum. My bum, my big kid bum. I wash my hands when I get done. My bum, bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum.
Yes. Ted and Sylvia, it's so wonderful to see your faces. Thanks for singing with your dad. You can't hear it, but we're all clapping. It was a great song. Thank you so much.
I genuinely forgot that I was coming after that. Y'all were so enthralling. Thank you for that song. I want to invite all our children to move in a little closer to your screens for our Time for All Ages. I wonder if you can think of a time when someone helped you to do something that is important to you. Maybe something as necessary to you, like wiping your bum, but something that maybe you can think of something important and big. Today, we're hearing the story of Zuri and her dad and the ways that they take care of each other in a book called Hair Love. So this book is in our children's library, and it was signed by its author, Matthew Cherry, and the illustrator, Vashti Harrison. You can see here, there's their signature. So this is an extra special book that you can come and see, that you will find in our library when we get back together again. You can come find this. Let's listen to the story of how Zuri and her dad have loved and helped each other. My name is Zuri, and I have hair that has a mind of its own. It kinks, coils, and curls every which way. Daddy tells me it is beautiful, and that makes me proud. I love that my hair lets me be me. In funky braids with beads, I am a princess. You see her in her garden over here? garden and castle. When my hair is in 2 puffs, I am above the clouds like a superhero. My hair even does magic tricks. One day, Rocky and I were playing outside when along came the rain. You can see Rocky does not look happy. Rocky does not look happy about that. From large to small, my hair went. Presto, just like that. There is nothing my hair can't do. Today, I woke up extra early all by myself. I was too excited to sleep. It is a big day. Daddy was still sleeping. Shh, I said to Rocky as we tiptoed past him. Lately, Daddy has been worn out. He makes me breakfast, takes me to school, goes to work, picks me up, and yesterday we went for a bike ride all around the park. I think that he needs a break. Do you see over here she's sharing some breakfast snack with him? She's trying to help him out. Because today is special, I want a perfect hairstyle. This calls for a professional touch. You can see over here, she's got her tablet out. She's watching videos. Paws off, Rocky. And then crack. See over here? Crack. Daddy heard the crash. Zuri, what on earth? He asked. I was only trying to help, I said. Daddy smiled. Can I help too? It'll be a piece of cake, Zuzu. The first style was a big no way. Here's the first style. She says no. It's 3 puffs. The second was no better. No, Daddy. You see he's put it in 2 braids, 2 plain braids. Then Daddy tried to slick my hair into 2 puffs. It's a red hair tie. Swoop! Ouch, Daddy yelled. Wait a minute, Daddy said, as he reached into the drawer and pulled out a pick. Ta-da! Hair's bigger. Daddy, really? I said. Okay, he says. I'll be right back. Now, how's that? He asked, pulling a hat down over my eyes. Daddy, come on. We can do better than that. I really need my hair to be special. You can see here she's starting to feel very sad and a little frustrated. I would too if you want something special for a day, but it's kind of hard to do. Don't worry, he says. We'll figure this out. And then Zuri has a great idea. Daddy gathered all the tools we needed, and we were set. And I see over here by the sink, there's lots of bobby pins. They have the tablet set up so they can watch it. They have picks and oils and creams. I wonder what her idea is. You can see they're getting ready. Watching carefully. You see she's watching a video. It's got a woman with hair just like hers. Daddy combed, parted, oiled, and twisted, and he nailed it. Funky puff buns. Pretty, pretty, and so much fun. Rocky approved too. I put on my superhero cape as the final touch to a perfect look. Click! You can see over here. There's a sound. Someone's coming in from the other room. Where's my Zuzu? Mommy called from the door. There's her inside. You can see her coming inside with a suitcase. She could not get in the house fast enough. Mommy! You have got to be the prettiest Supergirl I have ever seen, she said. Can you see the green welcome home banner? This is a special day. Your hair is beautiful, Zuri. Who did it? I looked at Daddy and I beamed. Mommy smiled. Very nice. Thank you. We learn from the best, Daddy said as he gave her a big hug. My hair is Mommy, Daddy, and me. It's hair love. Flush. See, they're taking a picture together on the tablet. I wonder, what is something that is magical about you? How has your family helped you feel magical and feel proud of who you are? Today, we're celebrating fathers or someone in your life who takes care of you. How can you celebrate with them today and also next weekend? White parents, how are you helping to teach respect and care for the magic of Black Americans, our Black neighbors? Children, you are invited to join me in our children's chapel. The link will appear in the chat box. Adults, please join us in singing our children to their religious exploration space. The words are going to appear on your screen.
May your mind be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
Thanks so much, Jem. What a beautiful story that was. And it made me think about the ways in which we take care of each other and the magic that is inherent in that. The magic that comes from sharing our gifts, our resources, our time, and our talents with this beloved community and with the wider world. Each week, we take up an offering to celebrate that gift of generosity that lives within this community. That your gift that helps sustain the work and ministries of our fellowship, that we share with our community, and this month with our plate partner, Giraffe Laugh, supporting early childhood education for children across the Treasure Valley, helping them achieve the brightest possible future. This is the magic that we create together with the very simple act of giving. And these days, that simple act of giving is just like click, click, click. You can give to our offering today by going to our website, boiseuu.org, and clicking give at the top right corner of the screen. It's highlighted there in yellow for you. Fill out the donor card. Our offering is shared 75, 25, 25% of the offering goes to our plate partner at the end of the month. You can use the special offering box for that gift. If you'd like your gift to be divided otherwise, please use the special contribution box and make notes for us in the comments. We are so grateful for all of the ways that your generosity has shown up with this community, through our weekly offering, through your annual pledges, through the donations that continue to be left on our doorstep that we're sharing with our community. It is magical to me weekly and inspiring to watch your generosity come pouring forth, even though we haven't seen each other's faces in so many weeks. Thank you for helping us stay connected to the call of our values and the call of our world. Thank you for your generosity. Our offering will now be received.
All right.
That's good.
There are times you drive me, shall we say, bananas. And your mind is missing. No offense, a screw.
None taken.
Still, whatever mess I land in, who's always understanding? Nobody else but you.
Oh, your moodiness is now and then bewildering, and your values may be, so to speak, askew.
Kazoo type.
Thanks. Who deserves a hero's trophy as we face each catastrophe? Nobody else but you. Nobody else but you. It's just our luck. We're stuck together. Nobody else but you. Crazy enough to believe we'll come through.
So your jokes are, let's face it, prehistoric.
And your music sounds like lemurs in a zoo. But when life becomes distressing, who'll I be SOSing?
If you're having trouble guessing, here's a clue. Though he seems intoxicated, he's just highly animated.
Yep.
And he's nobody else but nobody else but you.
We turned into a true blue duo. Hard times we've had a few. Like you're thrown in a drink.
Like you're tossed out of town.
But when I start to sink, hey, I'd rather go down with nobody else but why oh you. Mwah.
Aw, Dad.
Yay! Thank you, Dave and Sasha. That was just perfect.
Just gonna get my glass right in there.
Well, these are some hard acts to follow. Whoop, am I on? I am. Okay. I love my 3 daughters who made me a father. They're right here. Yay.
Hi.
Who made me a father. And I mean that. They've taught me most of what I know about being a father. My own father, the child of immigrants born in the 1920s, was very important in my life, but my world of bringing up children was quite different. Elia, Dina, and Hallie are all great kids. Nonetheless, I've had worries. They all have complicated birth stories. We've had 2 cars totaled. No one hurt. And I even got a call from the Boise police at 3 in the morning after Elia and friends snuck out and got popped for a curfew violation.
Thank you.
Thank you. My brother's a great dad also, who's raised 3 boys who are all terrific young men. As far as I know, these boys have never gotten in any significant trouble or even wrecked a car. I had started to write, I'm sorry, my kids are complaining in the background about these. I had started to write a sentimental piece about being a father, about advice I'd gotten experiences I had had, lessons, maybe lessons I'd learned. I thought I might talk about being a feminist dad who grocery shops and cooks, who played with the babies and still does when they're teens and adults. But actually, I'm not very good at writing sentimental pieces. And in these last couple of weeks, at least, those words just seem to ring hollow. See, I've never had to have the talk with my children, nor has my brother. I don't worry that my daughters or my nephews won't come home alive if they go for a drive or a run, or they go to the store to buy a box of Skittles. I only had to worry for a couple of seconds when the officer called to have me pick Ellie up. The first thing he said was, "Your daughter is all right." See, I have the privilege of believing that the world, including the police, are generally keeping us safe. My kids don't have to worry that their father will be killed by police for a broken taillight or speeding or even passing a counterfeit bill. Not so for George Floyd's 5 children. They both had to worry, and then their worst fears were realized. George was 46 when he was killed last week, a couple weeks ago. I was 46 when Hallie and Dina were born. I've had the privilege of watching them grow up and hope to see their children besides. George will not get to do that. Something is seriously wrong with the society that takes Black and brown fathers from their children, either through mass incarceration or death by police and vigilantes way too soon. Adding to the pain, consequences are rare. No justice, no peace. As we celebrate this Father's Day, my mind is on the fathers who don't get to spend Father's Day with their kids and the kids whose fathers were taken too soon. They don't get to make peanut butter and honey sandwiches every morning before school or get beat at horse. They don't get to watch their daughters grow up to be women and mothers, or not, or watch their sons become men and fathers, or not. They don't get to watch their sons go off to college this year like my brother does. They don't get to tease and harass their daughters like I do and watch them graduate and get jobs and become their own persons. I am privileged. It should be a privilege all fathers enjoy. For many years, I've used the phrase, "we are all in this together," to describe the importance of making sure we support kids and parents. These last few months, though, have made that phrase seem meaningless. It's just not true. It's not true in the pandemic, and it's sure not true in how we get to move through the world. I look forward to the day we can make it true for all my brother fathers, when we can live the words of our 8th UU principle, when we have actually built a diverse, multicultural, beloved community by our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and our institutions. A beloved community that respects all fathers every day. May it be so.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you for allowing us to open our hearts, to hold the joy and sorrows, and particularly the deep pain of our nation and fathers in our community right now, and in all the struggles that they've had to endure. Naming the struggles and sorrows and pain of our nation doesn't diminish our own sorrows or our own joys. We hold them in one circle together, in one moment of life, to remind ourselves of the beauty of all that is and to keep our attentions raised and our hearts cracked open to receive and carry the joys and sorrows of all of our beloveds those we know and those that we don't know. This morning, you are invited to share the joys and sorrows that are happening in your life or that you would like to lift up to our community, to the world, and to our collective prayers. You can do that in the chat box. I'll share a few from our community as we get started together. Gary and Elizabeth share the joy that Gary's MRI came back having shown the tumor is shrunk and he will likely be ready for surgery, and the chemotherapy did what they hoped it would do, and progress at this moment is looking good, and we continue to hold them in our hearts and thoughts and prayers as they move through this challenging time together. We hold Mary Stell, who starts her chemo tomorrow, with all the concern and fear that might hold, but knowing that she is held by beloved community. We hold Jane Rowling. Her sister Carla had to evacuate a couple of weeks ago when there was a fire near Cave Creek, Arizona. And of course, all of the communities and people enduring the Bighorn wildfire raging in my hometown of Tucson, Arizona. We hold them in our hearts as well. Please do share your joys and sorrows in the chat, friends. Read each other's joys and sorrows, and let's connect with one another, with the love that we share together even as we're apart, as we hear this beautiful piece of music from father and son, Mark and Tenje Zimmerer.
No more questions, please. No more tests. Comes the day you say what for, please, no more. We disappoint, we disappear, we die, but we don't. They disappoint, in turn I fear, forgive though they won't. No more riddles, no more jests, no more curses you can't undo, left by fathers you never knew. No more quests, no more feelings. Time to shut the door. Just no more. Running away, let's do it. Free from the ties that bind. No more despair or burdens to bear out there in the yonder. Running away, go to it. Where did you have in mind? Have to take care unless there's a where. You'll only be wandering blind. Just more questions, different kinds. Where are we to go? Where are we ever to go? Running away, we'll do it. Why sit around resigned? Trouble is, son, the farther you run, the more you feel undefined. For what you have left undone, and more what you've left behind. We disappoint, we leave a mess, we die, but we don't.
We disappoint until I guess forget that we won't. Like father, like son. No more giants waging war. Can't we just pursue our lives with our children and our wives till that happier day arrives? How do you ignore all the witches, all the curses, all the wolves and lies, the false hopes, the goodbyes and reverses, all the wondering what even worse is still in store, all the children, all the giants. No
Thank you, Mark and Tenje. That was just beautiful. Friends, I invite you to join me in the spirit of prayer. Spirit of life and love, holy mystery. May we continue to be awakened to the moment, hearts and minds open as we weave our joys and sorrows with the sorrows of our nation, and with our siblings and beloveds in this project of humanity. May we stay present to the struggle, listening for the calls to action, to solidarity, to our own learning. To all those who have shown up as fathers in our lives, who lead with love, who play and sing and dance with abandon, who teach us courage and compassion, we give thanks. To all those fathers whose experience of fatherhood is fraught and complicated and harder than we could ever imagine, we give thanks. To those fathers who march for justice, who have shown us the way and now make a way for future generations to lead, we give thanks. For our fathers whose lives are on the line every day, we pray. Amen.
Good morning. When I became a father, the doctors at the hospital did not check my qualifications. Based on examples of parents from books and television shows, I was led to believe that the hardest part of raising another human was changing diapers, which, while unpleasant, didn't seem that difficult. If I had talked to my parents about parenting, I may have learned about the finer unpleasantries of being a parent. But I was in my 20s, and I hadn't reached the age yet where you discover that your parents actually did a lot for you, not to mention creating you. Being a parent is difficult under the best of circumstances. And I have a suspicion that the best of circumstances might not exist. My children, Chaz and Ivy, are two wonderful, sweet humans with a unique spark and perspective on life. They are both on the autistic spectrum. Ivy is considered profoundly autistic, and she has been nonverbal her whole life. Chaz is more on the Asperger's tip, an Aspie, and is very verbal, a deft communicator. They both have weird senses of humor, which I feel probably came from me. That's the fatherly pride in me. I love my children. I also have struggled to navigate who they are, who I am, in a world that values the high-achieving, high-performing individuals. There is a story of how things should be, in capital letters. I love that story. Here's how it goes. Love, marriage, house, kids, maybe a pet, nice job, nice life, a few problems that are worked out in the span of a commercial break, achievements, achievements, achievements. The awards, the certificates, the pictures, you know that story. Maybe you've chased it. Maybe you despise it. I've done both. I've heard Buddhists characterize suffering as resisting what is. In my case, the story of how things should be interfered with the story of how things are. That's where that traditional story can do harm, when the story is so tightly scripted that it doesn't allow for other possibilities. I think it's the job of every generation to wake up from the dreams of our fathers and mothers, acknowledging what works and what doesn't. I think our dreams need to be expanded and deliberately, actively re-envisioned. We need to collectively draw from those that have been excluded from the traditional dreams of family, culture, and society. There have been days where I felt sorry for myself that my kids couldn't participate in all those traditional rites of passage. There have been days where I felt like a failure because I didn't know what to do when one of my kids behaved in a way I didn't understand. There have been days where I've felt the disapproval of other parents because I didn't know what to do. I had one parent inform me in regards to my parenting, "You dropped the ball." That comment haunts me as it skillfully revealed something that I always carry with me, the thought that I need to do better, but I don't know what that is. For the record, "You dropped the ball" is the worst coaching advice ever. I've heard writer-philosopher Sharon Salzberg say, and I'm paraphrasing, "You're perfect the way you are, and you could use a little improvement." I'm trying to remember that in my life, particularly in my role as a father. I still have no idea what to do in a lot of situations, and I really think they should have caught this at the hospital before they allowed me to leave with children. But I'm doing my best, and I could probably do a little better. Do any of you, parents, feel the same way? Have you felt shamed because you, your family, your experiences didn't fit the script for how things should be? Let me tell you the story of how things are. Things are difficult, no doubt. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but things can be wonderful in ways that I couldn't expect or plan for. Moments of humor, of kindness, and of grace, moments unique to my wonderful kids that I wouldn't have been able to experience any other way. Maybe those moments that are only found in the story of how things are should be treasured and lifted up. For in the end, the biggest problem with the story of how things should be is that there isn't just one story. We're a spinning world of infinite stories and moments. You're living one. And you're living one. You're living one. So while I'm not qualified to be a parent, none of us are, so I guess all of us are. The universe deputizes us and we learn on the job. And if your story doesn't match the narratives we all consume via media, congratulations. You're a living, gloriously messy, dynamic human who has something unique to offer, which I suspect might be the point.
Thanks so much, David. Thank you for so generously and vulnerably sharing your story with us and reminding us to chase our own unique stories. As we close our service today, we offer you this final reading, a blessing of praise for fathers, adapted from Kirk Lodeman Copeland. Let us praise those fathers who have striven to balance the demands of work, marriage, and children with an honest awareness of both joy and sacrifice. Let us praise those fathers who, lacking a good model for a father, have worked to become a good father.
Let us praise those fathers who, by their own account, were not always there for their children, but who continue to offer those children now grown their love and support. Let us pray for those fathers who have been wounded by the neglect and hostility of their children, for those fathers whose children show love in their own unique ways. Let us praise those fathers who, despite divorce, have remained in their children's lives.
Let us praise those fathers whose children are adopted and whose love and support has offered healing. Let us praise those fathers who, as stepfathers, freely chose the obligation of fatherhood and earned their stepchildren's love and respect. Let us praise those fathers who have lost a child to death and continue to hold the child in their heart.
Let us praise those fathers who, because of their skin color, fear for their children every day, who have to give the talk before going to the playground, who fear their lives will also be cut short. Let us praise those men who have no children, but cherish the next generation as if they were their own. Let us praise those men who have fathered us in their role as mentors and guides.
Let us praise those men who are about to become fathers. May they openly delight in their children. And let us praise those fathers who have died, but live on in our memory and whose love continues to nurture us. And in this month of Pride, let us praise those fathers who celebrate their children for exactly who they are, encouraging them to let their light shine and colors fly.
We lift our hearts in praise and love and gratitude of all the fathers. Amen. Let us sing our closing hymn together, the beautiful song, Let Your Colors Fly, written by our own Carrie Bastian and Mike Lemieux. The words are there on your screen.
Let your colors fly. Don't be afraid to
Thank you, Carrie. It's wonderful to sing that song again. Thank you, dads. David, Roger, Dave, Cory, Mark, for sharing yourselves with us today. I'm grateful to know you, and I'm so grateful to share in the blessing of your gifts and your presence among us. I invite us all to place our hands on our hearts for our closing blessing. May we all hold dear the praise and gratitude for fathers. Not just our own, but all the dads we've been blessed to know who offered us the best they knew. For all they have to teach us, for all the love they've showered upon the world, and for all the ways they remind us to keep showing up. Blessed are we all. Go in peace.
Thank